Hi, welcome. How's it going? Are you excited? Are you hyped for spreadsheets? Oh my god, I'm so hyped for spreadsheets. I'm always hyped for spreadsheets. Who doesn't love spreadsheets? Contextual spreadsheets. So, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing here? Who are we? Well, I'm Adam Coble. I'm the GM of RollPlay Swan, and this is the Swan GM turn. GM turn number 12. In fact, this is the last GM turn of 3200. This is the I guess the November, December. I guess it's technically the December turn because we've started December. So yeah, this is it. It's December. I'm just like blown away. Like, we're a couple of days off yet, but I'm just blown away by how like great this game has been and how much fun I've had running it, both on the on-screen stuff and doing all this back-end faction action stuff. It's been a great experience for me. I'm really excited about seeing what 3201 will bring for the Swan Song crew. We know if we've been watching. Well, let's get that out of the way, right? So what we're doing here is this is a background stuff for that show. So if you're a fan of Swan Song, you're in the right place. Now, if you're not caught up on Swan Song, this is going to be very spoiler heavy. This is the spoiler turn. This is where I talk about all of the stuff that goes on while the players are gallivanting about the universe. So if you're not caught up, you might want to wait and watch this on YouTube, watch this on my VODs, whatever, because I'm going to spoil stuff. Okay? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Still here? Still here? Okay, Spoiler City. So, Prosper's leaving the crew. Titan, the big fight with Titan is like in 4 weeks. They're on Cabral. Falling Star is coming. Wu is dead. Like, so much stuff is happening. The year has been a busy one. Like, man, we've seen so much stuff happen to the crew. And one thing that I've seen come up over and over throughout the game is people seeing things that the characters do and going, well, why did they do that? What is that about? And I can promise you that as far as Higgs goes, there's going to be some clarity around that. JP and I spent a while like talking about Falling Star and what it means for Higgs. I'm not going to give you any. I'm not going to give you any hints. I'm not going to spoil it because it's going to be too much fun. But it's going to, at least in part, set the stage for the next season. Falling Star. So that'll be a thing. But we're not here to talk about that. Though, if you want to guess what it is, that's cool. You're welcome to. If you want to guess about who Steven's new character is going to be, you can also do that. I am going to tell you, though, Steven's new character is going to be a human. Because there's no aliens or AI PCs in this campaign. I'm not allowing AI or aliens. He's going to be human. And my guess is, knowing Steven, we're probably going to end up seeing a character that's tied either into a faction we've already seen or into a faction that Steven wants to focus on. So, we might get a HighBeam pirate, or we might get a Caliphate psychic. We might end up seeing my guess is, and I was talking about this in my personal stream, my guess is that we're going to end up seeing a character that is a psychic. I think that's probably the safe bet, because it's the only class Steven hasn't tried, but there is a chance that Steven will play a character from a class from another signed nominee game. So we're looking at Other Dust, we're looking at to a lesser extent, the one Halfwing loves so much. The name escapes me, the Cthulhu one. Anyway, we're looking at those classes as options for inclusion into the game, because they're meant to be put together that way. So we'll see how that goes. And it's going to also, just like Falling Star, it's going to indicate some things that Silent Legions, thank you. Silent Osiris Legions. It's going to indicate some things about where the game is going to go next, depending on what Steven's character is, because, you know, Steven tends to, by his own choice or not, rotate characters out every season. So we'll have to take a look at how all that goes. Anyway, I don't even know, so I can't even spoiler that part for you. But what I can spoil for you is what's going on in the background of the world. So the way this works is we go through the factions. I'm going to try to totally randomize them now. And we're going to go through the factions, and we're going to give them some credits. We're going to spend those credits. We're going to attack the other factions. There's going to be some politics in the background. I've made the Pfotenhauer hostile, because I think that's official now. They're not a fan of the crew by way of Mr. Sicarian. Midori is still neutral because there's still some power struggle going on. Cabral is friendly for now. This is going to shift back to neutral depending on what happens with Pi. And Oninsa Libre is going to be probably friendly till the end. So what I need to do is just give everybody their credits. I also want to reflect Mr. Sicarian causing some damage to the Midori Syndicate. So because there's no assets, there's no official Midori assets on the planet. If there was, I would blow them up, probably. But they're not. So I'm just going to cause damage to their credits. We're going to cause some damage to their health, their overall faction cohesion. So let's jump over to, let's see here, Control Tab, and we'll jump over so I can roll some dice. So first of all, we're going to roll damage for creds. And I think 2d6 plus, 2d6 should be sufficient. Let's see how important that factory was. Bam. All right, so 9 damage to their assets. So that means, or to their credits. So that drops them down to 12. Okay. So Mr. Sicarian caused a lot of monetary damage. That was, you know, almost 1 million fat creds worth of damage. Or 1 million regular credits worth of damage. And I'm going to say a d4 of damage to their cohesion. Let's call it actually a d8. Because, I mean, that's 2 big guys. Whoa, nice. They're cohesive. So he only caused 1 faction damage. So that brings them down to 28. Okay. Because faction health represents a cohesion of their forces, how well together they are. Now, it caused them a lot of monetary damage, but not a ton of functional damage, which makes sense because the Midori are pretty good at keeping things together. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to add up all the income from this turn. So the Armed Forces Remnant have 12, Sunbeam is 25, Richardson has 6, Prophet has 11, Majid has 11, Oninsa has 2. So Oninsa last turn I fucked up their turn because I kept defending with characters I bought for them, which isn't fair. They're not allowed to do that. Oninsa should have died a couple turns ago, but I mean, whatever. It happens. That's a thing. So give them their credits, and I won't do that again. You're not actually allowed to defend with a new like a new asset once you buy it. So I'm aware of that, and we'll just fix that from going forward. Purity has 16. Pfotenhauer has 39. They are going to need it. Midori has 17. Cabral has 10. The Pirates have... Oh, hold on. Cabral, yeah, evens out, but Purity gets 1 more. These guys are -2, so they got 5. And 16 for Hoveda. Alright, cool. So everybody has lots of stuff. Lots of credits. So there could be some good spending in this this turn. And I think that Pfotenhauer, given that they are under the attack of the HighBeam fleet, they're going to need to buy something with those credits. All right, so let's start with rolling randomly. So I have 12 of them. What I'm going to do this time is just randomly roll every turn to see who goes next. So our first faction is faction number 3. So on my list, faction 3 is Richardson Scientific. So Richardson, we're going to start with you today. Okay, cool. So Richardson Scientific, they last turn on turn 11 in November. Let me just update this. So in November, Richardson got attacked, remember? The Armed Forces Remnant made a stupid move to attack them, I think. Okay. So they're just doing Peaceable Kingdom. They're activating their harvesters. And they were attacked earlier by the Armed Forces Remnant. And it didn't work. The Remnant defended, or the Richardson defended. So what Richardson is going to do is these guys are just going to do the same. They're going to activate their harvesters. And they're also going to spend XP. So we haven't done this before. Let's jump over to the faction tracker and look at that. So Richardson Scientific has enough XP to bring their wealth up. So we're going to do that. So it costs them on the table, let me just double check for experience. It costs them 2 to raise their rating up to 2. So they have 1 XP. Let's go Richardson. So that brings their wealth up to 2. And their maximum hit points go up. So good work, Richardson. Richardson is the first faction to actually spend experience. Let me move this so my little face is not in your way. Okay, cool. So spend 2 XP to increase wealth. Then activate harvesters. So Richardson has 2 harvesters, I think. They've got a harvester on the planet and on the moon. Yeah, so a gas harvester and a regular harvester. So each one rolls a d6, and on a 4 or better, they get a faction credit. So I need to roll 2d6. I'll roll them one at a time. So the planet succeeded. Cool, they get 2 fact creds. Good stuff. So both succeeded. All right, they're on their way. So they're getting pretty mad cash, despite being tiny. So they get another 2 credits, brings them up to 8, and 1 more on their Peaceable Kingdom. There we go. Nice work. Okay, yeah, dollar bills for Richardson. So as promised, they're like, you know, trying to bring science to the world, and it's working, right? They're harvesting gas, they're harvesting artifacts from the planet, and they're working their way up to being okay. They're making some money. Thankfully, they've got some secret allies in the Republic of Cabral helping fight. All right, so that's Richardson. Let's jump back to roll 20, and I'll roll another d12, and we'll see who goes next. Ritchie Richardson. All right, so number 6, Oninsa Libre. Oh, Oninsa Libre, man, you guys, they're on the ropes. All right, Oninsa Libre. My note to myself last turn was never surrender. Fuck you. So I guess they're going to attack Pfotenhauer. Okay, so attacking Pfotenhauer on Oninsa Libre with security. Pfotenhauer will defend with the pre-tech. And now the Oninsa Libre will get to use their bonus thing. So remember, when they attack, they have advantage on their attacks. So they're gonna roll 2d10 and add their force. So 2d10, 1d10 plus 4 and 1d10 plus 4 versus 1d10 plus 6. So roll d10 plus 4. All right, they got a 13. So d10 plus 6. Pfotenhauer gets an 8. All right, they succeed. No counterattack. So that means Oninsa Libre actually gets to deal damage for once in their whole life. So Oninsa Libre, security personnel deal 1d3 plus 1 damage. Hot shit. Fate's Rangers take some damage. They take 4. Maximum possible damage. Nice. Good work, Oninsa Libre. So that means that Pfotenhauer, their unit, let's see, pre-tech infantry on Aminsa. I say take 4 damage. Oh, Fate's Rangers down to 9. Yeah, Fate's gonna be pissed. All right, Fate's Rangers down to 9. Who's next? 11. So Cabral. Okay, so Cabral. Now they're trying to take the armed forces apart. And it's working pretty well, because they want to seize the planet. They want to seize control of Andoni. So they're going to do that again. So attacking it with the organization moles. This time, oops. This time Andoni, I think they have to defend with their harvesters. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's all they have left. Defend with harvesters. Okay. So let's take a look at what they've got. Harvesters, okay, cool. So it's a, let's see, Cabral, organization moles. It's cunning versus cunning. So that's, Cabral is a +6 versus the cunning of Andoni, which is 1. All right, it's not going to go well for the Armed Forces Remnant, but at least they've got their harvesters, right? It's awkward. All right, D10 +6 versus D10 +1. That is, all right, a 9. So it succeeds. So defend with harvesters. Success. And let's see how much damage these moles do. The moles do 2d6 damage. Yeah, that's enough to do it. Okay, destroys the harvesters. So again, Cabral's secret agents, like these are the people that that Steven's character, that Prosper used to belong to, right? Cabralese secret forces. And these guys are systematically destroying the army. So first of all, they infiltrated the infantry, destroyed it. Now they infiltrated this harvester facility, blew that up. Next turn, they can just start taking apart the armed forces directly. So that's pretty cool. So, cool. I think, let me see, they destroyed an asset, but that's not part of their goal. So I just need to delete the asset from the sheet. Boop. All right, all that's left is the base of influence. Now, they're going to be able to buy something, so there'll be some more time for this to work out. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so back to my faction tracker. Let's see who goes next. Number 10. All right, HighBeam Fleet. Okay, so the HighBeam Fleet is on the warpath, and they're particularly gunning for Sunbeam and for Pfotenhauer. So I've got 2 places where Pfotenhauer exists. But I also mentioned that they've been working on a new asset. Yeah, just go ahead and keep talking about Howard. Yeah, so they got that squid for a reason. They got that octopus for a reason. So we'll give Pfotenhauer a turn to relax, I think, because the HighBeam Fleet, let's see what they can buy. So let's see here. Up to Force 8. Yeah. Okay. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to buy Psychic Assassins for 12. Drink, because I went all the way around. Okay, so HighBeam fleet. Oops. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, and they're going to buy him on their home planet, which is Pelasgon. Okay, so HighBeam fleet. Psychic assassins. Do you have those already? Yeah, Hoveda has them. Cool, so I can copy them down. Boom. So it's not just Howard on his own, but it's Howard. So he's leading a group of yeah. Actually, oh no, that's right. He was going to be free, so they don't have to actually buy him. And he's not part of the like regular rules. That's right. So okay, give me a second. I want to. There was something else that I was going to buy because he's free. I forgot about that. Let me see. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to do, but I think. I still think maybe Psychic Assassins is the best fit. I think that's why they bought him. Yeah, no, that's true. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. He's gonna be there. So Psychic Assassins, we'll keep those, but they don't have to pay for him, and he goes on the list. So there we go. So it's a note, and he was like on Pelasgon, on the Lasgun. Cool. Okay, so he's stealthy, and next turn they'll continue pummeling, but that does take up their turn. Okay. So go back and re-add this. There we go. And Pelasgon, it's the Naimi system. Boom. All right, Howard. Okay, cool. So like Nika Starlight, if these Psychic Assassins are killed, it doesn't mean that Howard is like dead, but it might be that he's somewhere else. He's been captured or whatever. Now, let's take a look at where Pelasgon is. So Pelasgon is in 301. It's up in Naimi. The characters are in Farugi. It would only take 3 jumps to get there. So if Mr. Sicarian wanted to, I don't know, let's say, recruit Howard to help him fight Mr. Titan, that's a thing he could do. So, yeah. Okay. So let's get back to our turn here. All right. So that was HighBeam. HighBeam is done. They bought their shit. They're gonna go back on the warpath next turn, but this was the get Howard turn. See, this is why we pay attention to the GM turn, because fun shit happens, like space octopus assassins. All right, cool. So let's roll my die again to see whose turn it is. Okay, we already had them. Number 8, Pfotenhauer. All right, so Pfotenhauer, you need to buy some things because you're getting your shit wrecked here. Let's go look at Pfotenhauer. So they last turn. God, I gotta choose to attack again or not. If they don't attack on Insa Libre, they'll never kill them. So I guess I'm gonna make them attack, and we'll attack with the. We'll pretty much do the same thing. Whoa, that didn't work. Okay, so attack on Insa Libre. No. There we go. On Oninsa with pre-tech, they're going to defend this time with security personnel. And we'll see what happens. So let's do that first. So, Pfotenhauer, yeah, if it keeps going, that's a good point, Sage. If they keep doing this, like, if it goes this way, Mr. Sicarian is going to unleash Titan right at the time where it's going to killing Titan is going to destabilize Photonhour. It's going to cause hit point damage to Photonhour, like, a lot. So, that's a thing. Alright, so they're going to defend with their security personnel. Let's go check their stats. So it's force versus force, I think, right? I mean, it has been so far. Pre-tech, on Oninsa, force v force. So we're looking at Photonhour's force, which is 6, versus Oninsa Libre's, which is 4. Plus 6, plus 4. Alright, let's roll and see what happens. D10 plus 6. This is Photonhour. Oh boy. Alright, Photonhour takes it and rolls 2d8 damage. 14, wow. Okay, so success, 14 damage, security personnel destroyed. So this means that next turn, even if Oninsa Libre were to buy something, they would still get... They wouldn't be able to defend with it. So let's go take that away from the asset table. So Oninsa Libre, you are still getting your butt kicked here. Sorry. Wow. Yeah, just down to the base of influence. Super, super wrecked. Farewell, brave Oninsa Libre. You lasted almost the whole year. Well, they're not dead yet. One thing I want to point out before we get all QQ about this happening, let's sort by Oninsa, shall we? So the HighBeam fleet, I'm just gonna point out. Look who's in the Oninsan space, right? Next turn, Photonhour is going to get attacked by the HighBeam fleet. So, Photonhour, as it were, still has attacks to make. So, they have units on Giragia, which they're using to attack. And they have units on Pelasgon. What else is on Pelasgon? HighBeam stuff. Just straight up HighBeam. So, oh my god, this is awesome. Okay, check this out. So, they're going to attack. They're going to attack in 2 more places. So, they're going to attack on Giragia, because they can attack with all their assets. They're going to attack in Giragia with their pre-tech infantry, and they're going to attack HighBeam. Okay, so let's keep this one going. Lots of attacks by Photonhour. HighBeam on Giragia with pre-tech infantry. Defend with Alright, let's see what happens. So this is the same battle. This is like ongoing pitched battle. Pre-tech infantry fighting the Space Marines on Giragia. This is force versus force. So pre-tech infantry on Giragia, force v force. So we're looking at 6 versus 8. D10 plus 6, D10 plus 8. Oh boy. Nope. Alright, so failed again. And counterattack. So the counterattack for these guys is... There's me zipping all the way around again. Drink. Space Marines. They have a counterattack of... a lot. 2d8. Okay. So... 10 damage. And I think that'll kill those pre-tech infantry. Giragia, pre-tech infantry. 10 damage. Yeah, that kills them. Oh shit, Photonhour. Where's your army now? Photonhour's down to 5. They have 5 assets. Like, Photonhour is just throwing themselves into the fire. And this is perfect because Titan, we know, Titan is a little bit of a maniac, right? Like, Titan is never say die. Honestly, after all this bullshit, do you think that Photonhour as a unit, like as a faction, might be looking for a new leader? Right? Like, I mean, maybe, right? All right, so they've got one more attack they can make. And I'm going to sort by Plasgon because I need to find a target. Boop, boop, boop. They're going to attack again. So they're attacking HighBeam on Pelasgon with lawyers. Because when guns don't work, time to bust out those lawyers. So on Pelasgon, we have 3 HighBeam fleet. We have Hostile Takeover, Psychic Assassins, and Base of Influence. So let me just check. I think this is my only Hostile Takeover. Okay, I need to grab the note for it. Oops. Hostile Takeover. Back to my asset tracker. Insert note. There we go. Okay. So hey, when the guns don't work, let's use the legal team. So lawyers, they can't attack or counterattack force assets. So that's fine. They are attacking HighBeam, and HighBeam is going to... They're not going to defend. They're just going to take it in let it hit the base of influence. So lawyers are just going to deal 2d4 damage. Let me double check how that works on an attack. So if they don't defend, I think they just don't see it coming. Let's see, once matched. So one more assets, an rival faction with assets. Each time the attacking asset is matched against a defending asset chosen by the defender. You can attack only once per turn. You can defend as many times as you want, once matched. Yeah, so they can just let them defend with the base. So I guess we still have to roll. So it's Cunning versus Wealth. So Photonhour's got a 3, HighBeam's got a 5, so 3v5. And it fails. Okay. Awesome. So Photonhour's legal team is about as effective as their... Awesome. Yeah, doesn't work. So they're like, this is illegal, like, you can't do this, and yeah, it's just not working. The lawyers aren't helping, the guns aren't helping. Photonhour needs some help. I wonder where we could find someone to help them. Objection. Overruled. All right. Cool. So that's good there. And we'll move on. So Photonhour is done. So we're going to go ahead and roll a d10. Or what do we have now? A d12 still? Yeah. And very soon this will be... I'll start rolling smaller dice to figure it out. But yeah, no shit. We're pirates. Keck. Okay, so Hoveda. So Hoveda is going to try and reinstall their erstwhile children. So Hoveda last turn, if you remember, used their shipping combine to move the popular movement to Kamna, and then they used the extended theater to move themselves to Kamna as well. So Kamna is the front staging point. Now, the nearest planet to Kamna is... let's take a look at my map. So Kamna is in the Mualimi system. Remember here? And what I want to do is I want to move them to Varvaresos. So they're going to try and land on Strophios. Now, the problem with Strophios is they have defense. So we're gonna need to try something. So they're gonna use abilities. So use extended theater to move popular movement to Strophios. and the transit lockdown is tested. So the transit lockdown, what that does is, if we look at Strophios, it auto-defends. So Strophios is right here. There we go. So a transport lockdown involves pressure on local routing and shipping companies. On a successful cunning versus cunning attack against the rival faction cannot transport assets onto the planet without spending 1d4 fact creds and waiting 1 turn. So, so we have to use the lockdown on them. I'm going to treat this defensively. I'm going to say that it locks down the planet, and it bounces. It'll try to bounce them off. I'm going to make this a defensive one. So, like, when this happens, they trigger automatically. I don't know if that was how it was intended, but I'm going to go ahead and use it this way anyway. So we'll make a cunning versus cunning attack. So New Prophet versus Hoveda. So the New Prophet, if you remember, like, the New Prophet was a splinter group that left Hoveda. They've still got some assets there. So it's a +6 versus a +8. Try to beat the cunning at their own game. And we'll see what happens. So D10 +6, D10 +8. Oh, it works! Wow. The transport lockdown works. Okay, cool. So fails, and they can't do anything else with that. Cool. So that's going to be interesting. So the lockdown worked. The New Prophet kept their home world from taking effect on their new world. So they'll still be able to do something on their turn. Hoveda can still activate abilities, so let's see what else they have. So they've got available to them, let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, it fails, so it takes a turn and costs fact creds. So it blocks them for now, but they're stuck. So let's go ahead and cost them creds. So 1d4 fact creds. That not work? Oh, wow, 1d45. And I critted the roll. 1d4. Okay, so it costs them 1 fact cred. And it takes the next turn. So let's just make a note to trigger that move. So it blocks them for a turn. That's cool. Okay, good. So go remove their faction credit. On the tracker, so Hoveda, they have to pay and it slows them down, and now they can move some other crap around. So on the asset tracker, let's see what we want to do. They got a lot of stuff. They can activate their manufactory. Okay, so let's see if it gives them 1d8 credits. They're like, fuck you, we can just make credits. Okay, so gain 3. Okay, so on Hoveda. So that gives them 3 more credits. Okay, good stuff. And what else they got there? R&D department doesn't have an access, doesn't actually do anything. Their assassins don't need to move. Extended theater, we tried to move something with them. The Panopticon matrix is just to protect their homeworld. Book of Secrets allows a reroll for 1 action on Hoveda. The organization moles are on Hoveda. Maybe let's move them. So the shipping combine can move them to Kamna. So let's move these guys to Kamna. So move organization moles to Kamna with the shipping combine. So basically, they're gonna try and take Strophios away. That's their big plan. Okay, good. Kamna. And that's it. I think that's all they have. Cool. Okay. So Kamna is the staging ground for their move forward. So that was Hoveda. All right. So what do we have left? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6. So if we roll a d6. And number 5 is Sunbeam. So Sunbeam. Okay. So Sunbeam needs a... I mean, they need to do a bunch of stuff. They need to expand their influence because their shit's getting wrecked. Let's go take a look at where they're at in the asset tracker. So Sunbeam Omnistellar has 25 credits, so that's pretty good. And they want to expand. They want to put another base on a new planet. So let's move them. Oh, God, should we buy something for them? They've got wealth 7. Let's see what's good for wealth. Oh, cool. Hostile Takeover is pretty good. No, we're gonna add. Oh yeah, that's a good point. The pirates did destroy another asset, didn't they? Let's bump them up 1. Thank you, Math Squad. Okay, anyway, so Sunbeam, I think they're just gonna move and they're gonna try to make a new base. So not this turn, but they'll move soon. So let's move them. They've got, I think they have a fleet. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted Sunbeam. Here we go. Sunbeam has their strike fleet, their wounded strike fleet in Hex 506. So where's a planet of TL4 that is... oh yeah, Hoveda needs to pay for their shipping combine. Thanks. See, this is why I need y'all. So, faction tracker, Hoveda loses 1. And they're gonna move, I need the map. So they're gonna move from 506, which is here. They need a TL4 planet. Let's close these up and take a look. So what is near 506? We've got Gunhild and Stasi system. So Thorkatla is TL4. Andoni is definitely TL4 because we don't have enough people on Andoni. Let's move them. We're gonna move them back to the Stasi system. We're gonna move them to Thorkatla. That's 606. Wow, good hands on. And what I want them to do next turn is build a base of influence. So they're going to start spreading their influence around. So when things go bad, they have somewhere else to fall back. So let's move that strike fleet. So they're going to go to nobody else on Stasi. So that's 606 Thorkatla Stasi. 606 Thorkatla Stasi. 606 Stasi system planet Thorkatla. So they're in orbit around Thorkatla. Good. Okay. So that's Sunbeam done. Okay. Cool. Who is next? Get back to my rolls. So I'm gonna roll a d5. 4. 1, 2, 3. Majid. All right. The Majidi Mandarinate is looking to protect themselves and expand. So they tried to go after the New Prophet. It didn't really work. They bought some mercenaries to protect themselves because religious weirdos are coming to get them. Now they're going to buy something else. And they're going to need to expand. So they're going to buy a shipping combine. Let's go see how much that costs them. So Majid. Everybody's got to have a shipping combine. It didn't autofill. That's annoying. Oh, because I'm... Okay. There we go. Okay, so shipping combine, and it's not on Stasi, it's on Majid. So let's go ahead and find a planet that's already there. There you go. Okay. So this will allow them to... oops. This will allow them to move some stuff around, and they can go and start to expand their empire a little bit. So that costs them shipping combine. Cost them 10. So 10 for the shipping combine. GD Mandarinate now has 1 faction cred. Okay, good work. So we got 4 left. Let's get to it. Number 1, the AAFR. In an attempt to defend themselves. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the new shipping combine needs max HP. That's a good point. It sure does. There we go. Okay, thanks. All right. So the AAFR have no assets. The Armed Forces Remnant does have credits, though. So we're going to buy them something. They have 4 force. Let's buy them some soldiers. So up to force 4. They can buy PostTech infantry for 8. So I'm going to do that for them. So... PostTech infantry. They've trained up some new goons. Oh, did I need to select that, don't I? Okay, let's try that again. So this is the Andonian Armed Forces. This is a PostTech infantry. And I can copy the tag from somewhere else. Oh, wow. That's the only PostTech infantry in the world. Okay, well, I'll grab it from here. Alrighty. It's not a strike fleet. Let's clear the notes. There we go. Okay, cool. We're caught up. I'm also going to just fill down so the spreadsheet keeps going. There we go. Alright, PostTech infantry, they have 12 hit points. They are on Andoni. So they're going to be able to fight back against Cabral next turn. That is, where are they? Andonian Armed Forces. Alright, so they're going to attack Cabral next turn. Okay. So, somebody was asking the difference between post-tech and pre-tech. So, pre and post are referring to the Scream. Post is all the shit that we rebuilt after the Scream. Pre is all the good shit we had before everything went terrible. Alright, so that's it for the Andonian Armed Forces. I need to pay for that, I think, if I haven't already. Yeah, so it costs 8, so down to 4. Okay. Good. They're done. So now 3 left. Purity Initiative, New Prophet, and the Midori Syndicate. So D3. Well, they're not jerks because they're French. They're just French and they're jerks. All right, so this is 2. So the New Prophet. Okay, the New Prophet's going to take an action we haven't seen before. New Prophet, they're going to... they're going to seize Strophios. So they're going to use the Seize Planet action. So they're going to become the official ruling body of this planet. They have to destroy all assets belonging to other factions. So let's double check and see if there's anybody on Strophios that's not them, and make sure we can do this. Nope, just them. So they already have all the assets. So there's no other assets there. So good work. They're going to... let's see. Once all resistance is crushed, the attacker must maintain at least 1 unstealth asset for 3 turns. If successful, they become the official government. So let's start a tracker. So I need to go back to my per turn. So seize Strophios. This is turn 1 of 3. This will be 2 of 3. And it'll be complete in February of 3200. All right, so that's all they can do this turn, but they can actually take actions while this is happening. So right now they're trying to just seize control. And that's it for them. Okay. So let's see who's last. We got 2 more factions. Let's flip a coin. Survey says it is the Purity Initiative. So the Purity Initiative, they are going to... They're going to move. They've got somebody they need to move around. So the Purity Initiative is going to activate a special ability. They're going to use their freighter contract to move... Let's see, I can move 1 non-force asset. What do they got? Vanguard Cadre. Or maybe I should move their seditionists? No, the seditionists need to stay. Okay, so they can move 1 non-force asset. So they're going to move... Yeah, they're going to move their Vanguard Cadre. And these guys are leaving Oninsa, and they're going to Majid. They're the Vanguard, after all. And so does that cost anything for freighter contract? Yeah, 1 fat cred. Okay. So the Purity Initiative so they're going to move the Vanguard Cadre to Majid, and that's it. So the reason for this is that, you know, like Purity Initiative, they don't like the Majidi government. They're like, you are in cahoots with these drug dealers, you're slavers. They're going to send the Vanguard Cadre there to show up and start wrecking things. So the war is on between the Purity Initiative and the Majidi Mandarinate. So let's add that to here. So the New Prophet, or sorry, the Purity Initiative, it costs them 1. And these fanatics now have assets on a new planet. I think that's all I need to do. Yep, move Vanguard Cadre to Majid. And last, but hopefully not least, for their sake, is the Midori Syndicate. Our poor, beleaguered, exploded Mr. Sicarian Midori Syndicate. They are going to take an action here, and they're also going to start expanding. Now, they've seen that Sunbeam is getting... well, they're getting fucked up. Sunbeam is getting pretty beat up. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to install a base of influence on Asa. Because I don't think, if we pop over to the tracker... Yeah, Sunbeam's not the government of Asa. So cool. Alright, so the Midori Syndicate, they need to get stealth assets on enemy planets. So they're going to start by placing... They're going to place this new asset. It's going to be an invisible base. So to do that, buying a new base of influence, so expanding influence, the faction rolls 1d10 plus cunning against each other faction on the planet. Any of the others that attack may make a free attack against the base if they want. So let's establish the base first. So it is a Midori Syndicate base. It's a base of influence. It's a special asset. They're going to put all 17 hit points into it. That's going to cost all their credits. Drink. I did not need to do that. So Midori, they go down to 0. If it survives, it'll be stealthed. And they need to roll cunning against... So it's on Asa. This might not work. This might be a bad idea for them, but hey, it's a gamble. So on Asa, the HighBeam fleet gets to roll cunning against them. So their cunning, first of all, is the Midori cunning of 6, so it's +6, versus... Oh, okay, so it won't be a stealthed base. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Silent Echo. Cool, okay, so it's 6 versus HighBeam, so 6 versus 5. So this is the defense, D10 plus 6, and D10 plus 5, so 11 versus 14. Okay, so HighBeam gets an attack. Okay. It's all base of influence. And let's see what HighBeam would use to attack them on Asa. So HighBeam has blockade runners, which can't attack. Oh, they have nothing that can attack. Okay, so no attack there. So no attack. Noi attack. No attack by HighBeam unit. No valid attacker. And then let's see if Sunbeam gets to attack them, because they're on Sunbeam's home planet here. The new Prophet has units there too. All right, well, we'll do them next. Oh my god, and the Midori already have them. Okay, that's fine. So new Prophet, they're going to attack themselves. Let's see here. Somebody asked me to check the secretive tag. Yeah, they begin automatically stealth, but stealth doesn't apply to base of influence. So, no, stealth doesn't apply to bases of influence, only special forces units. Okay, anyway, so this was the Sunbeam. No, it was the New Prophet attacking them. So New Prophet is 6, so this is a 6 versus 6. First one is a 10, second one's a 12, so yeah, it's a success. So they can attack with New Prophet. Union Tufts, I think. So that is Union Tufts deal 1d4 damage. Oh no, it's wealth versus force. So wealth versus force is wealth of the New Prophet 3 versus the force of Midori, which is 5 versus 3. Okay, this is complicated. So roll D10 plus 5, which is wealth versus force. So yeah, 5 versus 3. Okay, so the attack is +5 versus D10 plus 3. Oh, crit. Okay, yeah, free shots. So they get to do 1d4 plus 1 damage. All right, starts off at 2 damage. So it takes 2. The base they just built on Asa, which is here, 15. Okay. And let me just check. I don't know if this is actually attacking it or reducing its hit points, because it might hurt their actual hit points too. Yeah, it's just an attack on the base of influence. Okay, so it does cause 2 damage to the faction. So Midori takes 2 damage. Okay. Alright, Union Tufts, 2 damage. And then let's see if Sunbeam gets their attack. So Sunbeam is cunning versus cunning, so 3 versus 6. Okay, roll d10 plus 6 versus d10 plus 3. No, okay, just barely, but yeah, Sunbeam, no attack by Sunbeam. Okay, so there's a Midori Syndicate base on Asa now, and that will allow, it'll allow Asa to, it'll allow them to start building stealth assets out of that base. So this actually shouldn't be stealthed. I think that's fine for everything else. Yeah, let's just remove this one. There you go. So the bases just can't be stealthed. That's fine. Okay. Done and done. Fixed and fixed. All right. So the ASINs, there's a Midori Syndicate base there now, and they're going to be ready to continue building their empire there. Let's do a quick review. Anything big happen? I think this is one of those, like, yeah, let me read. Okay, people are still confused about the stealth. So let me check the asset here and see what it says. So it's you can buy stealth. Stealth is not an asset, but a special quality purchased for another Special Forces asset. An asset that, you know what, fuck it, I'll just ask Kevin. Can secretive apply stealth to non-Special Forces assets? There you go. I don't even have to guess. I can just ask the guy who wrote the game, because that's a thing that I can do. Cool. Okay. So that's that. What I'm going to do, as always, is if you're watching this on YouTube, just check in the comments or in the description. There's going to be a link to the fictionalized version of this. So I'll write this up as a fiction. I will post it. Yeah, that's how it goes. We do one of these every month. So in-game every month, or every time they finish an adventure. So keep tuning back in as we play through Swan Song. Obviously, tune into the main show on ItMeJP. And if you want to learn more about, Stars Without Number or any kind of role-play stuff like that that I'm GMing, just follow me here at twitch.tv/Adam Coble. I talk about it all the time. Or follow me over at Twitter at Skinny Ghost. I'm also the GM of 2 other shows outside of Roleplay. I GM Roll20 Presents Apocalypse World and The Burning Wheel, which are both over at twitch.tv/Roll20app. So you can go and check those out as well if you're interested in more GM'd by Adam stuff. I do GM shows for both of those as well. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go and start fictionalizing. So we will see all of you on the bridge of the Swan Song next time.